Hi, I'm JD Sawyer with the Aquaponics Source, and in this video we're going to show you how to install the frame for the Harmony Aquaponics system. So when you're planning your space, you really want to make sure that you have a level, hard surface. And remember, with aquaponics we're dealing with water, and water gets on the floor sometimes. Fish splash when they're eating especially. So you want to have a floor or surface that is easily cleanable. I wouldn't recommend doing this on a carpet. Okay? So a nice level hard surface like this is good. If you're doing this on a gravel or sand surface, you might want to put a paver block or a cinder block underneath the foot pads and make sure you level this out. Just any kind of level here works great, and you can actually adjust the foot pads and the height of the frame by simply loosening the eye bolts or the set screws to adjust it to get it just right and perfectly level. Grow beds are going to come pre-drilled. So on this side you have the inlet for the bulkhead, and then you have a hole for the bulkhead for the drain side. It is important to put these in the right location in the bed. The drain side bulkhead needs to be over the fish tank. So this particular grow bed is going to go here on your left as you're facing the system. And then the other grow bed, grab here. This hole, the drain, is going to go towards the front center as well. And they drop right in the frame just like that. It's a real good idea to rinse the media because it has a fine red clay dust on it that'll accumulate in your fish tank if you just put it in without rinsing. So what we like to do, there's a couple ways to do this. One is just get a big milk crate or this recyclable plastic crate here, and then you can put a screen in here and pour your media inside here and just go ahead with a hose and kind of work it around. And just kind of rinse all this red clay dust off the media here. You're not going to get all of it necessarily, but you'll get a good amount of it. So just work through it, just do that for a minute or so, and then you can put this in a clean bucket and start to transfer it to your media bed. Now that you've washed your media, the fun part is starting to fill up the grow bed. But here's one of the key tips that you have to remember. When you're pouring in that expanded clay pebble media, it likes to roll all the way around the bed here. And what you want to do is make sure that either you put a good weight on top of your pipe here, your media guard, or hold it down, because if that media rolls up underneath that media guard, it's real hard to get it back out of the way again, okay? You want that media to pack up real solid around that pipe and not get underneath it. So John, you go ahead, I'm going to hold this pipe down. To work that around, pack that. I would keep pressure on this until the whole thing is full, just so it doesn't tip up and you have to scrape the media back out. So you can see here we've already filled the tank with water. What you want to do before you fill the tank though is make sure you have it positioned exactly where you want it. What I like to do is make sure it's centered between the grow beds, and more importantly make sure I have maybe 18 to 24 inches of the tank exposed so we can observe the fish and feed the fish. The other parts of that is that the remaining part of the tank is shaded by the grow beds here, which makes the fish feel more comfortable and gives them some shading in the back of the fish tank as well. Notice we've also filled the water to about 3 or 4 inches from the top of the tank. This is called the freeboard space. We don't want to overfill the tank here, so this is a nice water level here. Also note that the pressure release valve that comes up from the sump is right up at the water level here. So in a minute we'll turn on the pump here, but when we actually run this, water will be jetting out of here, which provides a circular pattern, rotational pattern, and also additional aeration and oxygenation for the fish tank. Notice the pump is also basically in the center of the fish tank. When the system is running, the discharge from both grow beds as well as the pressure release valve here is going to create a rotational flow of water in the fish tank, and that vortexing action will actually help to concentrate solids down to the bottom center of the tank and that's where the pump is located, so the pump can actually lift those solids up and distribute them to the grow beds. So before you get ready to turn the pump on for the first time, it's a good idea to make sure all the valves are open. In this case, just turn the valve here. Both grow bed valves and the pressure release valve are open, and then you can start to throttle back the flow once you see the pump running. Alright, so we've plugged the pump in and you can see water coming out of the pressure release valve here. Valve is fully open right now. We also have water coming out of both grow beds as well, which you can see up here. So we have water coming out here, which is great. So in adjusting this valve, we don't really need a lot of flow rate to the beds. These are 50-gallon grow beds. Exchanging about 50 gallons per hour through the grow bed is just fine. So we don't really want to force a lot of water up to the grow bed. So we actually can use this as quite a bit of control here. And having this much velocity and this flow of water coming out is good because, again, it's aerating our fish tank as well. And we have good flow to both of the grow beds. This is a 500 watt heater controller unit that we recommend goes with the Harmony system. And it can be used for any other application as well for heating your fish tank water. Okay, so here, there's a little sensor that goes right inside the fish tank here. So this will suction to the side of the tank. I recommend you place this down relatively close to the bottom of the tank water. Okay. Notice here, there's a plug on the side of the control unit. Okay. What you're going to do is these controllers come with a titanium heat tube here, okay? And that's going to plug right into the side of the control unit, just like that. And this heater this heater stick is going to sit right down in the fish tank. This is the heating element. You want to make sure that you don't pull this out of the tank when it's running, okay? Or if it's still hot, let it cool down first. Also note that with this unit here, you want to make sure that you plug this into a ground fault protected outlet. Really good idea because we're talking about water and power, right? So let's make sure we use protected outlets. If you don't have a GFI outlet, we offer GFI protected power strips, which are a great idea, so you can plug your pump, aerator, and a heater like this into that as well. Just make sure that the circuit is rated to handle the wattage of the heater. This is a 500 watt heater on a 110 volt circuit, so it'll draw 3.5 amps roughly, okay? Mount that control unit, press that down on the side panel of the grow bed. Before you plug the unit in, we're going to go ahead and install the 500 watt titanium heat stick. We've got the suction cups here. We can literally stick that right to the side of the tank over here. Secure that in place. Here's our sensor wire. We don't want to place this right next to the heat stick or we're not going to get an accurate reading. So we're actually going to place this in a location further away from the actual heat stick, probably towards the back of the tank. Quick little story about the importance of securing the sensor wire. You can see here, this has a little suction cup, but after a while these can kind of wear down or not adhere well to the side of the tank. And what happened to me one time was I had actually a tank of just beautiful, huge tilapia that I was taking care of for a friend. And the sensor wire got dislodged, and actually, I don't know if a fish did it or what happened, but it fell out of the tank overnight. And so the sensor is reading the temperature of the greenhouse all night, and it's running the heater, and so the water was just heating all night long. And I came in the next morning, and the water temperature, it was actually steaming. The water temperature was 105 degrees, and I know tilapia are tough, but they're not that tough. So we cooked some beautiful tilapia simply because we didn't properly secure this sensor wire. So in addition to the suction cup, you may even want to consider zip tying it to the top of the tank and just making sure you have at least 2 ways of securing that wire so you don't kill your fish like I did.